Yes, it looks like we're on. So welcome to Root Sources Conversations, this time with our good friend, Pastor Alan Latta from Granbury, Texas.
Yeah, Shalom Gidon. What community do you actually live in?
I live in a small community called, excuse me, Ma'aleh Hever.
Malay?
It's one of the places in Israel. My wife and I were just talking about this the other day, that has two names, an official name and what everybody calls it. I'm not talking like Chicago and the Windy City. I'm talking about two different names.
Yeah.
Our official name is Pnei Hever, and our name that everybody calls us is Ma'aleh Hever. Two different Hebrew words. It's actually two words, like New Jersey. It's like Ma'aleh and Hever are two different words. So both names share the word Hever, but is it Ma'aleh, which means going up to, or Pnei, which means facing?
Okay.
So I think that's much too much information already. That's the name of the organization. That's the name of the community that we live in, which is about 10 minutes drive from the biblical city of Hebron. And we overlook the Dead Sea and the Judean desert. That's my background over here.
That's beautiful.
And we have about 100 families who live with us here.
Okay.
Small gated community.
So you're in Judea or?
That is that is absolutely right. People are familiar with the term Judea and Samaria,
Yes.
so they often say it together as if it's one place,
Yeah.
like Nevis and Saint Kitts or something like that. There's some country I don't know where that has two names, but uh, but in fact, there's Judea in the south and Samaria in the north. I'm of course talking about the south and the north of the West Bank, which is not divided, but in the middle is Jerusalem. So we're about 35 minutes or so south of Jerusalem. And this past Shabbat, we spent with our son, who is about an hour north of Jerusalem. He lives in a place called Har Bracha, also two words, the Mount of Blessings.
Okay.
So, but he's in Samaria. He's in Shomron, Samaria, and I'm in Judea.
Okay.
So sometimes people say, "Oh, you live in Judea, Samaria. I've been to the Mount of Blessing. It must be right next to you." No, it's about 2 hours away from us.
Yeah. So there was the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom.
Exactly. Exactly.
I
Yeah.
remember a bit of the history there. Interesting. Well, I understand the names of cities having two different names. We have Whiskey Flats between here and Fort Worth, but it's actually Wheatland.
Uh,
How it got its nickname was it was the place you could buy alcohol, whereas
I'm
our
sure.
county and people would race to get there after work, and they just started calling it Whiskey Flats. But yeah,
Not 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 after church or before church.
yeah, really, things have changed, but yeah, the nickname stuck. But interesting. Well, you live in a beautiful part of the world,
I most certainly do. I'm very
promised,
grateful for that.
promised by Almighty God to his friend Abraham.
Amen.
Yes, your forefather.
What's new with you, sir?
Uh, Nothing much. I just got to go on vacation with my children to Austin, downtown Austin, the two families. So still basking in the glow of that. They started school today, so we have, kids going into new grades and stuff. I know you have that every year. Now, do you guys kind of operate on the year system or the quarter system of advancing, like the British?
I'm not sure what the quarter system is.
Okay.
Our kids start school around September and they finish around June.
Okay, like the American system.
I
So
guess. I don't.
the Brit
What's the quarter system?
Well, the British should go to school for 3 months and then they're off for a month. And then 3 months, then they're off for a month. 3 months, then they're off for 6 weeks. And it just continues going throughout the school year. Americans would like to do that, but the 9 month school year is embedded in our culture. And so they'll make the summers shorter, the summer break shorter and more breaks in between, but I don't know that we could ever switch to the British way of doing things.
The
So,
the issue with that, how old are your children?
you mean my grandchildren or
You mentioned before that your kids are going back to school. You meant your grandchildren.
grandchildren? Yes, sorry.
Okay, I was confused there for a second.
Sorry.
Anyway, the thing is that kids who go to school, first grade, fifth grade, whatever grade they happen to be in, kindergarten,
Yes.
if the kids have vacation, then what are the parents supposed to do?
I know that's the hard thing. And so, uh,
So again, if you're saying that Britain has even 3.5 months of vacation of school vacation a year,
no, no, well, 3 months of school, then a month off, 3 months of school, then a month off,
a month off.
month off. Yeah.
I'm
So
not
it's
talking about
three
the three
months.
months on,
And
the off.
here we have 3 months off, but it's brutal on single parents and parents with two
But
jobs.
is it 3 months off? Isn't it like 2 months? Is
Yeah, it's become like that.
July and August?
They shortened the summer up, but when I grew up, it was 3 months, man.
No,
You didn't
I don't
get back to the
remember that.
week
I
before.
remember going to sleepaway camp for 2 months.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, so if you're a teacher and your spouse is a teacher and you got a lot of kids, then you can go on vacations galore during summer vacation, which also is a little bit of a problem for religious families
yeah.
because we have the 3 weeks and the 9 days and Tisha B'Av. You might have heard of Tisha B'Av, the ninth day of the month of Av.
Okay,
So there's 9 days leading up to the ninth day of the month of Av, obviously from the first day of Av. But there's a whole 3 weeks, including those 9 days. In other words, 3 weeks before the ninth of Av is the 17th of the month of Tammuz.
okay,
So what is it? The nine, so 21 minus 9 is 11, right? 11 and 9 is 20. So 12 days before the first day of the month of Av, you
where does
have, pardon me?
where does that fall in the Gregorian calendar?
Oh, it changes
Julian.
around. It
Okay,
changes around. The Gregorian, I'll try to do this really quick. The Gregorian calendar has usually 365 days, right? Very well known. The Jewish calendar, the Hebrew calendar, the biblical calendar, the whatever you want to call it, has usually 354 days,
right,
11 days less.
right.
So that means that every year, let's say that let's just for the sake of argument, both years started on January 1st.
Yes,
So the end of the Gregorian calendar will be December 31st.
right. But it'll be the
But
11th day of the new Jewish year.
exactly, the Jewish year would start on December 22nd or some 20th or something like that. And then the year after, it would start 11 days before that, and then 11 days before that. Now that is really what happens in the Muslim calendar because the Jewish and Muslim calendars are both lunar calendars. You're familiar with the word month, and you know what the word month came from? It came from the word moon.
Yeah, right.
Makes a lot of sense. But the Gregorian calendar totally erased the most obvious part of the calendar, which is the fact that it is a lunar calendar. The Muslim calendar doesn't care anything about the solar calendar. The solar calendar, uh, among other things, um, makes sure that the seasons are always in the same months.
Right.
August, September, October is always fall. And December, January, February is always winter, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But so that's great. That's why it's called that is a solar calendar. But what about the lunar part? And the Muslims, great, they have a lunar calendar, but what about the solar part? So the
Yeah.
Jewish calendar, the Hebrew calendar, combines both of those. We our months are always from the beginning of the moon. What's it called
The new
in English? The new moon, I guess.
moon,
When
yeah.
the new moon starts, the new month also starts, and when the moon ends, that's when the month ends. And then the next day, the month starts, the new moon. So
Right.
that's pretty much the way it works. But we lose 11 days every year, as we just discussed. So every few years, we add another leap month, if you
I
will.
got leap month. So it's the month of Av twice.
No, not the month of Av twice. It's actually the month of Adar
Adar.
twice.
Okay.
Adar is the last biblical month. The first biblical month, of course, is Nisan
Yeah.
or springtime, whatever. That's when Passover is. And the reason for this is because the Bible says this year, this is the first commandment in the Bible, certainly in the first commandment in the book of Exodus. There are a few pre um, pre-Israelite commandments, like be fruitful and multiply. But the first Israelite commandment was this month is will be the first of months for you, and make sure you keep this month of Aviv, this month of spring, forever. Basically, it's basically telling you make sure that the lunar month falls out in the solar springtime. You get that?
Okay. Got it. So
So
that's
that's why we have to do both, and
how
it's
celebrate. But the
it's very
Muslims don't. That's why Ramadan moves around.
exactly that's exactly right. If anybody's watching this and is still confused, by all means, please contact me. This, by the way, calculation of the calendar is well known amongst uh, Jewish students, scholars, whatever you want to call it, as one of the most difficult calculations that there is. It's one of the hardest things to do. It's like calculus squared or something like that. I don't think it's that difficult. The simple part is that no, I think it's 7 years out of 19 we have one of these leap years
Okay.
and add a leap month.
So the school term follows the Jewish calendar. Yes.
Yes, which is, you know what? It doesn't.
It does.
It follows the Gregorian calendar. It starts, I guess, on September 1st,
Okay.
which on the other hand, the school year very much, the Israeli school year very much follows the Jewish calendar. We get off for the Jewish holidays.
Festivals. Yes. Okay.
So festivals. So if Rosh Hashanah, the Feast of Trumpets, which we observe, falls out on September 3rd, then they start school, and then the next day, then 2 days later, they're off.
Yes.
And if Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles, comes up on the 3rd of September, I'm not sure exactly when it can, but let's say that's it. You just started and boom, you go on vacation for like 9 days.
Okay.
So I guess that's really the way it is in Israel. We don't have the 3 months and 6 weeks. We have like 10 days or so during Sukkot, another 15 days or so during Passover, and a few 1 day holidays sprinkled around the calendar, and the summer vacation of about 2 months, I guess. That's pretty much the way it works.
Okay.
In
Interesting.
any case, it's a headache for parents who have to work, which is most of us, I hope. It's a headache for those of us who do work because we can't work. And it's certainly a headache for those of us who don't work because we don't have any money. So what are we going to do with our kids? But I'm sure that that's the same issue all over the world.
Yeah. Well, with Sukkot, you're going to sleep outside.
Yeah,
Stay
but
home,
you
maybe?
sleep, but then you have to get up in the morning, and
That's
the
right.
kids are gonna run around all day. What are you gonna do with them? Mommy, I'm bored. That's
Yeah.
it's the same all over the world.
Yes.
So my it's summertime now, and my daughter and her family just went for a week-long vacation. They were invited by his parents to spend 2 or 3 days up near the Galilee Sea in the city of Tiberias, where I guess their whole family they probably rented a villa, a nice big house with about 10 rooms or something like that,
Yes.
and the
Such a
whole family is
beautiful.
there. And we did that. We've done that in the past 2 or 3 times. The and you wake up late. The villa usually has a little swimming pool and a billiard table and maybe a pinball machine, all sorts of stuff like that. And so the kids are happy. They play all day. And then you also go drive around, and there's some attractions that you can do. I remember one year we went to play some miniature golf, that kind of thing. And the days pass. Oh, and of course, the big what's the biggest activity in something like this? Making and eating the food.
That's it. Yeah.
So we all go to the supermarket and buy tons of food, and then we spend hours and hours and hours preparing it. I was in charge of washing the dishes. I like doing that. And so that's what people do. But the problem with our family is that we need a time when everybody is able. My all of my kids, they work, and so they have different times of vacation, and their kids have different schools, so they start a little earlier, start a little later. I was like, I don't know. So it's been a little bit tough this year. Just now, I asked on our family WhatsApp group, what's going to be with our family week? I said, we don't know yet. My problem is that I'm a planner because if I have a meeting planned, I have to make sure that I want to cancel it in time, or if I don't have a meeting planned, I want to know that if I can plan a meeting at the time. Some of my kids are, oh, woke up today, let's do something. That's something that's too easy for me to get my head around. Anyway, so that is a little bit what I did. Let me talk a little bit more specifically. Last week, I participated in my annual holiday, if you will, vacation. It wasn't really a vacation. I take it I basically go to an annual Bible scholarship conference.
Okay.
It is held in the Herzog Bible College, which is about a 20-minute drive from my home north between me and Jerusalem. And they have the top Bible teachers in Israel and in some cases the world. Now, most of the Bible teachers, I won't say all of them because I certainly participated in a lecture by one non-religious, but most of them, virtually all of them, are Orthodox Jews.
Right.
But they are, many of them are academics. So they have been through the university Bible studies programs. And I
Okay.
don't have to tell you that often, usually, and I would say almost always, includes having connection to biblical criticism.
Yes. Higher criticism, they call it.
Higher criticism, lower criticism, whatever.
Which feels liberal.
So
But
these are people who grapple with that and have
yeah.
come to solutions according to what feels good for them. Most Orthodox scholars, again, I won't say most Orthodox scholars. I would call it the conventional wisdom. Certainly, up until 100 years ago, 50 years ago, 30 years ago, if you studied Jewish studies, then you were in yeshiva. You were cloistered into yeshivot and didn't have anything to do with the outside world. Now,
Okay.
of course, that wasn't everybody, but the Orthodox Jews were mostly like that. over the past 30 or so years, probably more and more Orthodox Israeli Jews, I would dare say mostly modern Orthodox Jews, are feeling drawn to attend university and study Jewish studies in university. It opens up a whole new light for them. Sometimes they'll say things, wow, I never heard that in yeshiva. So sometimes they say the heck with the religious studies. I really believe in this academic criticism kind of stuff. But those aren't the ones that teach in the Herzog Bible College week of Bible studies.
Okay.
But some of them come up with innovative ways of dealing with those issues. But we also learn about history and especially the land of Israel, the land of the Bible. It's a
Archaeology.
study here because you open up the Bible and you can go to the place that things happened. So that's wonderful. So that I did for 2 days of last week this year. Usually I like to go for all 4 days, but I had another conference on Sunday and another conference on Friday, on Thursday. You you have 52 weeks in the year and you schedule all three conferences on the same week. No. So you got to make a choice.
Yeah,
It was wonderful. That was absolutely wonderful. All three of the conferences were excellent.
that's great. Well, conferences are like drinking from a fire hose. So
It's
you
true.
kind of have to pace yourself, otherwise you get overloaded. But that's interesting. So any particular lesson that stands out?
Again, it's been a few days ago,
Okay.
and then I had another one in since then. I'll tell you let me show you. Let me show you the schedule of one of those days. One second. Come on, computer. Okay, I gotta move this page. One second. There we aren't. July 28th. Yes. Okay. So 1 second. Here is I'll give you the Tuesday day. 1 second. Oh, taking forever today. See if that'll go a little faster. So that's until that loads. Come on, are you gonna load today? Anybody? Here we go. Okay. So let me share my screen. And close this off and make this a little bit smaller so we can see it. Okay. So here we are. As you can see, here's the table. These two, it goes from right to left. So the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lectures are in Hebrew, and then the last two are in English. You see that?
Yes.
So you have 7 lectures a slot, 5 slots a day.
So you
You
choose your
got to choose. So
okay. Circled ones are the ones you did.
as you can see, these little red dots are the ones that I was interested
Yeah.
in. So
Okay.
this first hour out of 7, I was interested in 5.
Wonderful.
I finally had to choose. It's really like making a choice. Who do you love more, your mommy or your daddy?
So 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 are the sessions recorded so you can catch up on the information on the ones you missed?
So some of the sessions are recorded,
Okay, some of them are. Okay.
but my Gmail has a folder of articles and videos I'd like to read. I really want to read or watch.
Okay.
I've got 900 emails in that folder.
Right.
To
It's the fire hose.
participate the part it's really difficult. I don't know. It's not just me. It's the whole world. Nowadays, you have your phone, and you're grabbing. Did anybody send me an email? Did anybody send me a WhatsApp? Oh, this is an interesting thing. I open up a Google tab to look into something that the teacher said. So it's hard to focus. People are much more ADHD nowadays. And so that's one problem. But on the other hand, and if I am watching a video, then I don't know about you, but I've been doing this for years. I'll put it on 1.75 speed. Like, in other words, instead of me talking like this, you'll hear me talking like this, and that way I can understand. And I make sure that I have subtitles on the video. So I watch the subtitles,
Okay.
listen to the speed, and I managed to watch a half hour long or 45-minute long video in about 20 minutes.
So you're a fast listener. Boy, you're brilliant, man.
No, you got no choice. It's like speed reading, it's speed listening, speed watching.
Yes.
On the so I don't have that when I'm sitting in a classroom.
Okay.
So things go a little bit slower and I tap my fingers a little bit sometimes. Also, or if the teacher is not very clear, I make an effort to speak very clearly. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah, you're good speaker.
Thank you. But if the speaker isn't so good, and my eyes for sure aren't so good, I said I can barely see, and that's why I always sit up front so I can see the speaker's mouth if he's not a good speaker. And I'm
Yeah.
looking for I want the subtitles, so if I miss something, I can see the subtitles. You don't have that in a live lecture usually. So it's tough. Anyway, these were fascinating lectures. The specific one that I'll mention, if I can remember, I see here the the title. This is Rabbi David Foreman, Fohrman. You see that? So he spoke about the hidden faces of Megillat Esther, the hidden faces of the scroll of Esther, the book of Esther, which of course is a famous book. And you know what? I don't think that that's what he talked about. I think he talked about something else.
So it's a clickbait title.
I really think so.
Okay.
I don't remember, but was it about was it maybe it was. In any case, his Rabbi David Foreman, one second. Rabbi David Foreman is a fascinating, excellent Bible teacher, and I highly recommend you look into him. The name of his website is Aleph Beta. Let's look it up now so you can see it. There it is, Aleph Beta. And he's got hundreds of alephbeta.org. They've got hundreds, if not thousands, of lectures and mostly videos. In-depth online Torah learning for adults. He is very much focused on Jews, I would say Orthodox Jews or people who are, oh, this is so cool, it goes like that. But he has a lot of Christian students.
Yes.
That's highly, highly recommended. Look at this crazy stuff going on. I It's just unbelievable. Just unbelievable. So I highly recommend that. No.
So he was one of two English lectures you went to
On that day, I think.
that
Yeah.
day. How many days was this conference?
It's a 4-day conference. So if you have 7 lectures to choose from,
Yeah.
5 slots, that's 35 lectures to
Five
a
lectures.
day.
Yeah.
4 days, it's over 120 lectures in a week by the best Torah scholars and teachers.
Were there lunch and dinner breaks?
No dinner breaks. It starts at 9:30, I think, a.m. and ends at 5:30.
Any general sessions where everyone attended to hear one speaker together? No.
There were thousands of people there.
Wow.
Couldn't all fit them in one place. The next day I went to something that they had. The last session was they had it in a big conference hall. This was not in a big conference campus. This was
Right.
in a college. So the biggest room there, they used the community's main synagogue. I would guess it could fit maybe 300 people, maybe four, something like that. But
Okay.
altogether, there were thousands of people there every day. So you got to choose. What can you
Yeah.
do? But it was wonderful, wonderful. It's wonderful going to stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you participate in? I would say, how do you call it? The Hishtalmut in Hebrew, refresher courses or conferences
Yeah.
for
I
what
I
kind of
go
stuff do you do?
I go to conferences and generally each day opens with a big session for everybody and then smaller sessions on various topics.
Right.
The ones I enjoy the most is the speaker that just spoke at the main section is also in one of the smaller sessions, and you can ask him questions.
Right.
That I get the more out of that. But the
I,
popular thing right now with conferences, and I'm not really a fan of it, is you hear each speaker once. And I like to milk one guy, hear him more than once, glean from his wisdom kind of deal. I guess I'm looking for a father maybe, but um yeah, so and then they're pulling in the big names. So if there's five big names and you get more people attending and so anyway, but yeah, I just went to one last week, so it was good.
huh. What
Yeah.
was it about?
So it's a network of churches that I'm part of called Church on the Rock. So it opened with a banquet on Monday night. Then Tuesday morning was a time of worship together and teaching. I don't remember what that was on. And then the afternoon, there was a break after lunch together. There was a break, and then the evening opened with workshops. Get five choices. It was a smaller conference, maybe 100 people. And then we attended a church service at the host church, which was a
Right.
which was a midweek service, which is kind of a dying thing here in America. Midweek church services aren't well attended, and a lot of churches don't even have them. So that was nice. And then the next day was a time of worship together, praying for one another, encouraging one another, and answering questions related to the church service. Okay, you did this, why are you doing that kind of thing? So,
Sure. Like
so we broke for lunch though, and it ended with lunch. If people wanted to go to lunch together, they could. Otherwise, they could get on the road.
the whole conference was just about 100 people.
Yes, it was pastors. Yeah, it was in
And these are
Texarkana
people that have been part of this Church on the Rock group
network.
network
Yeah,
for in some cases maybe decades.
yeah, some of them decades. Yeah. So
So
we do
you
four
get to, and
hours.
this is an annual event.
Yes, in the last 10 years. So they'll do once a year, they'll have a thing called a round table, which guys who live in the same area meet together at a church campus, and there's a series of speakers all day long. And together as a group, we eat together, we debrief, we talk about what we heard, and it's kind of relational. The other group that I'm part of two different pastors networks. The other group has a weekly Zoom call that sometimes I host, but not always, and a annual retreat where we go and stay at the same place. We eat starts Tuesday night and then all day Wednesday and then Thursday morning. And the same thing. There's workshops, but there's a main speaker, the main session. And yeah, anyway, it's mainly for encouragement.
And how
Whereas
many
this
people
one I just
participate in that retreat?
yeah, they call it a retreat. Some people call it's not a retreat, it's an advance. But it's just
How many people? Also about 100 people.
yes, and it's pastors. So it's another
Okay.
network.
Just
And
a slight overlap, perhaps.
yes.
More
But
than just one person overlapping?
um no, that one will have a guest speaker, but then speakers within the network will share things they've learned.
I'm talking about, you said the Church on the Rock is about 100 pastors, and then you're a member of another network.
Yeah, I'm the only overlap between
You're
the
the
two,
only overlap.
but a lot of us know each other. So yeah, the non-denominational world has networks, and even guys in denominations are joining these networks for
Sure, why
encouragement.
not?
There's too many pastors burning and crashing. They need to encourage each other. So yeah, but I love to go to a Bible conference where they take a book like the book of Ruth and teach on it the whole 3 days. Oh, I love that, you know. Um,
Sure. That's what we're all about.
yeah.
Prayer and Bible, right?
Yes, that's it. That's it. That's our
Yeah,
foundation.
but it's prayer and
Yeah.
Bible and pastoring
Yes.
and a
Preaching.
good 401k. You know, that also is important. And family issues. I'm sure that there's plenty of stuff that a conference like this for pastors could get a lot of interest in.
Yeah, because a congregation is like a family and it's made up of families, and then the pastor has his own family.
Exactly.
So sometimes there's a conference where that's the theme, and so it's important as well.
And
Uh,
and you go, and are they held at hotels?
um, we stay in hotels and they're held at a church or they're held at a whole retreat center. Everything's just
Ah,
there. So it's usually out in the country, nice place to stay.
so pardon I always wonder how much does something like this cost? 100 people
Um, so the one I just went to, I think was $100 a person, I think.
for 3 days?
Yes, but we pay for our we maybe it was 150.
All
It
right,
wasn't
no.
it wasn't more than 150.
Okay.
And that included 2 meals. No, it included 3 meals. But the one that goes to the retreat center, that's like $300. So per
For three
person.
days.
Yeah.
It's not expensive at
Yeah.
all.
But there's a worship conference I'm going to next month with our worship director and his wife and my wife, and the registration is $35 per person. It's hosted by a church, and no meals are provided, and we'll be on our own for where we stay and where we eat, things like that. So,
So it's just the space
yeah,
and the organization. So it doesn't really have much of a high
yeah,
budget,
yeah. So if a church hosts, the church building is the host, then it's much cheaper. Yeah, definitely.
especially if they don't have a Wednesday a midweek
Yeah,
service.
yeah. Or if they do, they plan on being
Of
away.
course, of course, of course, of course.
Yeah.
I'm very glad to hear that. And you say that you have excuse me. You say that you have a weekly Zoom call with a bunch of
Yeah, every Thursday is a Zoom call.
what time of day?
It's at from 3 to 4
Mm.
every Thursday, unless it's a holiday. So the pastor who leads that network serves in Tyler, Texas. And so he usually sees how everybody's doing. Maybe there's 10, 12, maybe more people on the call. See how they're doing. Then he'll speak on a topic, and then there's Q&A, questions and answers. And yeah, so and then it may close with a prayer, and an hour flies by. So yeah.
As
So
our half hour has flown by and we were only here
yes, it's
for
amazing.
45 minutes.
Amazing.
So if you have any thing that you'd like to talk about, we don't have to keep it at this. I don't think we have to keep it at once a month. If you want to have something in between, we'll have something in between if we can schedule it. Now I feel like a few months ago I was very, very busy. And last week I was very, very, very busy. But I think that I'm settling down and I can schedule more things. And always, you can always schedule something with me. And I'm telling that also to our viewers, all millions of you. You want to have a Zoom like this with me? Then just reach out to me. Gidon Ariel at Root Source.
Great. Well,
Tom,
thank
my friend,
you, Judy.
shalom to you. It's such a pleasure spending time with you
You too.
and learning about a little bit about a pastor's life.
Thank you.